Hey, what's going on, Mr. Nine? You know, you're a funny guy. You know why? Because you got one on the left and one on the right, but you got two above and two below. You see, two above and two below is a calculative. If you want to just use Fahrenheit, it's so much easier. If you use Celsius, then you calculate the Fahrenheit because I know the two. So I'm not going to implicate it. But what you see on nine is to one division of two sides, two nines. Two, it's the two worlds. There's a 9 here and a 9 here. When you flip it, it's the same thing because it's a reflective world. Except in one world, it's voila, us. In the other world, it's the angel of us who either plays the game or the mechanics that we are actually connected to, and we grow into this world. It's like a stream. We stream when we grow from one world into the next. It's really weird. I wish I knew. I never really took time to exactly examine how we grow from one world into the next. But like if they were saying a transporter, that means the energy of God is always coming from the other world as you transport into the womb. And out of the womb, you transport into this world and then you live into this world. Otherwise, the only other way in is through an energy of some sort, in which basically just breathe. And if your number is up, God's going to send a signal into your body and he's going to send you whatever he wants you to know. So the other thing I was talking about is the Canadian pennies. Now, you know what's so fantastic about the penny is the penny can do something no other change can do. It can come the closest to being so perfect more than anything else. The penny is the best division of half because of a half less than a half of nothing. A half more of nothing is a half, but a half less than one. So it's actually the real true division of a half between 0 and 1 and 0 and minus 1. Okay, 1, 0, 1. Anyways, what I was talking about is that in Canada, we have the 1 penny, we have the 5 cent they call the nickel, we have the 10 cent they call the dime, they have the quarter. Now, what we do with this, if we take one of each and add them up, it equals to 41. But reversal of the number, okay, is 4114, and that's the Mediterranean news coming in on Sesame Street. And I always referred to Sesame Street because when I was watching Sesame Street and I looked up Sesame Street, all because of Big Bird, how yellow he was, the energy, the source of life, always happy. I found out that one of the pages on Sesame Street opens up and it shows 2 street signs saying, see the same street. And I said, see the same street? That's like Sesame Street. So I got, to 41. And anyways, 41 in Monopoly is actually the return around again, passing over, and this time a chance to stand on the Mediterranean, in which the Baltic is on 43 or 3. Is that the way it goes? And that would be 43. And 43 reverse would be 34, and that would mean 1. So I don't know what it means by 1 home, or I know the Chinese are always saying something about 1. Whose name starts with 1? Or wonton. We definitely know there's a connection. We know the Mayans, the ton, the kun, the tons, the tans, and all these shmees and shmais. They're all 3-letter words, so therefore they can all have a maximum of 2, 4, and 6 digits in it. That's it. They can't have any more. 1, 2, 3, unless you change into a 4th combination. But in the primary combination, it's 3 digits, and if it's a double digit, then it's a double digit. We don't have triple digits. We have repetitive digits, but we don't have triple digits. So anyways, we get 41 in that. Now we're going to go on to the second cycle, in which we're going to try to maximize, without reaching a dollar, every single one of the coins. Okay? So I just want to do one thing over here before we start. Okay. Okay. We can have a maximum of 3/4 without reaching a dollar, which is 75 cents. 3/4, spirit, angel, and man. 1/4 of each. Then we can have 9 dimes, which is our birth into this world, which would make 90 cents. So we're 10 cents away. Now we can have 19 nickels, which brings us up to 95 cents. Okay, you see how your value is rising closer to the dollar, the smaller the value becomes? Because when you get to the penny, you can get 99 pennies, and you're 1 cent away from missing the whole buck, and that's the spirit. because there's nothing missing in our life besides the other spirit that gets us the values in which we need to continue life, and that is the roof over our heads and food that we eat. But we forget all the most important of all, my friends, is the mind. What is the mind gonna do here? Look at this world. Wow, I can sit home and write. Does it bother me? Well, to tell you the truth, now I've gotten into a part where I sort of want to live into life and get into something a little bit more, but I never want to leave this, and I never want to go too far away. And I always, hopefully, to carry a computer and a book and a pen with me to carry me on, to carry on. So I want to do all these things, and I know I'm going to feel like, oh my God, I went away from it. I went away from the word. The word, I was going to stand it out right to the end. But it's like almost impossible. And I don't want to say that I'm breaking away. But I need that time. I need to do something. Walk in the park. I haven't walked in the park. But you know what? Sometimes I don't want to walk in the park because I feel if I'm a little stone and a cop stops me, he's going to start to harass me. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? It's such shit. I'm so sick and tired of thinking about these stupidities. I stay hibernated in my house. I run over to place A, B, and C, and I always repeat the same thing, never to go outside my circle, just like they want. But in the meantime, I come on here and tell you that it's all about what we're thinking, my friends. It's what we're thinking today that brings on tomorrow, because tomorrow will never come if we're not thinking what we are thinking today that brings on tomorrow. It's pretty simple, no? Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the number of coins it took to make this equation work. And it is 31 and 99, which makes 40 and 90, which makes 130 coins. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 0 is 4. And that means that is 3/4 of the angle of the connection. It all starts, everybody knows it's 4. When you cut a pie into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're actually cutting it into 8. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You've cut the pie into 8. So anyways, we get a total value here of 359. Now I didn't figure out what it is per item, and there's 4 items here. So 4 by 85 is 320, 330, 340, 3 by 90, 4 by 90. It's 4 by 90 about 89 something, which is basically in between the 0 and the 1, and in between that is the spirit, because you're half alive and half dead. We live in between 0 and minus a half and plus a half. You don't see your angel here. I don't see my angel here. Do I really think he's here? Or is this a creation, a nonsense, a stupidity? Hold on, how old am I? Wow. This is all like a Hollywood film, right? Nothing ever existed. Well, what about me? The other side of my views. This is totally true. What I just told you about the nickels and dimes, it's true. What does it mean? What is it, total value? Well, if I was to count the complete 4 quarters and 10 dimes and actually 20 nickels and do the whole equation perfect, I would come out to 14, and 20 is 34, and $1. I would come out to 134. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is the 8. And voila, you have the heaven, the change. The change that makes the difference. The change that interchanges with the information between the angel and man. And at the same time, if you added the totality of each to the difference, it would come out to 414 or 4114, but in short term. Is there anything else in here? I was looking at the 2 leaves, the bunny rabbit, the dollar. Now, another thing I wanted to say, like secretariat, the horse secretariat. I mean, if you really look at it, it says secret. It says secret. Secret, angel resident, I at, angel transmission. It means the 9 transmission, headquarters, angel resident, angel secret. So who really owned that horse? And who are the Emirates? You know what I think? You know what I think we have to do? I think we have to do this. I think we have to eliminate 60% of the oil we use in our lives right now. However it is, we have to eliminate these things that you know, if we're playing with oil, it should be frozen, it should be a puck, it should be outside, and these cold our winters will be a little bit colder, but they'll be so much more fun to know that we are free. And we shouldn't let the oil get into what is the oil price tomorrow, and everybody talking on the news of what are they going to do this summer with high oil prices. What is that bullshit? What is that bullcrap? So I spent an extra $60 this summer. Come on. Come on. $60 in a 91-day summer. You're spending an extra $90 in gas, $100 in gas because of the fuel price. That's going to make a really big difference. Is that how close and how poor we are? Is that the way they look at us? That we should take to this and buy these magazines? This is such crap. We shouldn't be using that oil, my friends. That's why they made Canada. That's why they made Santa Claus up in the North Pole. But imagine if Santa Claus was in the South Pole, we'd be in big trouble. Another thing I was going to mention is in pool, in the solid balls in pool, the highest ball, besides not counting the duality ball of the 8, is the 7. The 7th letter is G, and in the striped balls, the highest ball, the same rusty color as the 7, is O. Together, those two pool balls say go. It seems like that's the beginning of life. And being the 7 and the 15 together is 22, which is for V, and V equals the life. So the numbers repeat itself to the value of what they are. Where else am I in here? I've done some other things. I made some other finds. We're going to leave that out. That's it. 12 minutes. Is that enough? Have I done enough here? Have I done enough? You know what? I'm waiting so much for tomorrow because today was a day of starvation. I had one coffee today. My mouth is dry. I want to buy a juice, but I can't. My body can't get used to these daily routines of putting that same old whatever it is, and one day continues to the next day, or the transmitting of the new genes that are all in these fruit juices and everything we eat. So you skip a day here and you scare it there, and by the end, and you know what happens at the end of you doing this? You can start eating again because now you control the disease, you control the virus that is now inside of you. You are in control of it. You understand. You try to see a little bit different than everybody else. Why? I want to be different. If I was the same, they'd never find me. They can barely find me as it is. But I had a perfect 40 views today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's pretty funny. This is like one of the only movies where I can stop and say, okay, we're going on to the next day, gentlemen. Stop. Thank you for watching. You're going to go, and the next day you'll see another 5 minutes of the movie. And you got to break it apart and put it together yourself. What am I actually coming here to say? It's all up to you, my friends. It's all up to us. We must remain united. If the Bible is correct, and there is some sort of Armageddon or danger coming into this world, then we will know there's a Christ. And that's what makes it so much more interesting to know what I am doing, because that's what I believe. Raphael 7286.